Welcome to the Right Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, best-selling romance author, book coach, and founder of Serenade Publishing. I've been an avid reader since I could hold a book, and have spent over a decade immersed in the world of writing, editing, and publishing fiction. I know firsthand what it takes to turn a love of storytelling into a sustainable, soul-aligned author career. Each week, I share real talk about writing fiction, marketing smarter, and staying inspired, along with up-to-the-date industry insights and strategies that are working right now. You'll also hear from fellow authors, editors, and industry experts who are out there doing the work and making waves. Here, we put the woo in the work of writing, publishing, and growing your author business. Think of this as your creative business pep talk, packed with heart, hustle, and a little bit of magic. So get cozy and join me. Your writing journey starts now. Welcome back to the Right Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Williams, and today I'm joined by someone who's not only a best-selling indie author, but also one of the biggest champions of self-publishing success, Craig Martelle. If you've ever heard of 20 books to 50K, then you already know Craig's work has empowered thousands of authors around the world. He's written hundreds of books, built thriving reader communities, and led one of the most influential movements in the indie publishing space. In this episode, we're diving into the real talk, what's working in publishing right now, how to avoid burnout, and what it really takes to go full-time as a writer. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in the game a while, I know you're going to walk away with insights and inspiration from this conversation. Let's get started. Welcome to the show, Craig Martelle. It's lovely you're in Australia at the moment. How are you enjoying it?
Oh man, you can't beat it. I'm living on the beach. Especially, I can see the cameras around my house in Fairbanks. I see when my wife takes my dog for a walk. And there's a lot of snow, and it's really cold. Well, not so much right now, but yeah, it was minus 40, minus 50 Fahrenheit for, I think, 3 weeks straight. So, no, I don't miss that at all. It's beautiful down here. The people are great. The food is greater. So my weight loss journey stopped the second I got here.
So you come from Fairbanks, Alaska, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, the interior of Alaska. It's just a little bit south of the Arctic Circle.
All right, so Craig, you have had such an interesting career journey. You've been in the military, law, business, and now indie publishing. What first drew you to writing, and what has made you stick with it?
Alrighty then. I wrote my first book when I was 13, and I still have that. That was 50 years ago, and it's on my shelf back home, handwritten in a number of different notebooks. And I always liked reading. I always liked storytelling. I played Dungeons and Dragons as a kid because it came out when I was already a mid-teenager. And a lot of the players, they learned storytelling that way. And then, of course, I went in the Marine Corps, and I didn't have time for that kind of stuff. But there was always time for reading. We always carried books in our backpacks, and we would swap as we finished them. So I read thousands of books as I was through my adulthood. And then after I retired the second time, so I'm a complete retirement failure. After I retired a second time, I'm like, I got to do something. Let me write that book I always wanted to write, which of course was the catalyst for that was I retired and I had a big burn pile, and I'm like, I need to take care of this. And I accidentally lit myself on fire, and so stop, drop, and roll. I had second-degree burns on my leg, and I'm like, I can't be trusted outside doing manly man stuff, so let me do something that is a little safer for me. So let me write that book I always wanted to write. And that was 2015, a little over 10 years ago. I sat down, I set a goal of 1,000 words a day. And when I first started, I spent 8 hours a day at the computer. And I wasn't getting my goal. I wasn't getting 1,000 words. And then all of a sudden it started clicking, the story started flowing. And I had 10,000 word days toward the end. And so 61 days later, I had a 100,000 word book, and I'm like, hey, I like this. I didn't like the editing part. I reread that book, 100,000 word book. I reread it like 20 times going through it, and then I was fed up. And then I discovered professional editors that you just like write the book and then you give it to them, and they make it pretty. After that, my production went up, so I've been writing a book a month for 10 years.
That's incredible. And of course, you were one of the founders behind the 20 books to 50K group. So,
I was not. I
no,
was not. I was there from the beginning, but I was not one of the founders. I ran the group for 8 years, 7 years, and I ran all the conferences. That I did found the 20 books conferences and run those. But no, Michael Anderle was the sole founder of the 20 books to 50K movement, which is trademarked. It's his trademark. It's his business. It's his brainchild, we should say.
yes, absolutely. So, do you believe the 20 books to 50K is still a business model? We still need to write sort of 20 books to be earning $50,000, or do you think it's easier today or even harder?
That's 20 books to 50K is a retirement plan, nothing more. If you have 20 books and each book is making $7.50 a day, you will make roughly 50,000. I think it comes out to $54,000 a year. And in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, you can live on 30,000, but you can live very comfortably on 50,000. So that was the whole premise. So it's about controlling your expenses. It's about making money off your artwork. And what we found is that it's a logarithmic curve. So you're 750 a day, but then these books, especially as you get more and more, they make more and more, and all of a sudden you're not earning 50,000, you're earning 150,000 with the majority right up front. So a book that earns $100 today in 2 months might be earning $2 a day. And that's why, and if you keep publishing, for us it was always about 4 lists. For me it was the front list, the new releases. However, finally I have, 10 years in, finally I have my ads figured out, and I am making more off my back list than I am my front list with old titles.
Excellent.
And I'm very pleased with that because I have over 200 books out. So very pleased that the backlist is earning its keep.
Yeah, that is incredible to have 200 books. That's really, congratulations. That's such a accomplishment.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
the indie world has changed a lot, especially in the last few years. So what shifts are you seeing right now that writers really need to be aware of?
I think writers need to not be so afraid of AI incursions into our creative space. People will use it for idea generation and things like that, and whatever. I don't condemn people one way or another. I don't care. I think that human written books will always be desirable. It'll be the Rolls Royces, the Bentleys, the handmade vehicles that you can't. A Ferrari. You have to get on a list to buy a Ferrari, and so that's what I'm offering. That's what other people are offering with their personal written books. When you're just starting off, I think AI, because it's large language model, it's predictive text, right? So it takes an average of, hey, here's the good books, whatever. So that predictive text comes up with an average. So if you're just starting off, an average novel is better than what you can write. So you're thinking, oh my God, it's doing better than me. I look at it, I'm like, this is weak, because I hold myself to a much higher standard, because I've written so many books and I've seen what works and what doesn't work, and I strive every day to improve my craft. So that's we're writing Ferraris, and I don't think AI will ever take our place as creatives. However, it will chase a lot of the newcomers away before they've had a chance to learn and get above that average line of what the AI can produce. And now AI assistants on marketing, on handling your newsletter and doing other stuff, those who use it just get themselves more time to write. But if they're lamenting, oh, I can't write as good as AI, then you're still torpedoing your own career. You write the absolute best book you can, and you put it in the right reader's hands. And nobody's going to help you do that, not AI, not anybody else, except you, because you know your book. So what is your perfect reader? Go find them and put the book in front of them and show them, hey, this is really cool. It's going to satisfy an itch you didn't know you had.
That's it. There's always readers. There's always readers for your books. You just have to know who they are and where to find them. Absolutely. I love that. And of course, AI technology has kind of been around for a little while anyway, since before ChatGPT, when Pro Writing Aid and Grammarly and those sorts of things, so we have been using them, or most of us have been using them for a while. So that's really interesting. Thank you so much. So, from your perspective, what sets a full-time author apart from those who are still trying to gain traction?
The full-time author. The full-time author can produce with the pressure of having to produce. Uh, I've known, obviously in my position and working with authors, I've known a lot of people who have gone full time and lasted anywhere from 4 months to a year to 2 years before they went back to a day job because it was just too much pressure, and it stifled their creativity. They found that when they didn't have the pressure of money, then they were much better suited to unleashing their imagination. But when they had that burden of having to provide for their family, then it's just too much, and it's too much for a lot of people. But what separates the full time author is their ability to create and, oh, by the way, do this other stuff that you have to as part of a business. And that's my successful indie author group. That's what I try to keep pushing on people, that isn't it okay to have a job where you do 80% of what you really like to do, writing stories, by doing this 20% over here that you don't like, but that is not hard, the business part of it. So let's do 20% all for ourselves, and we benefit completely off all of our work. And I tell you, if you're smart enough to write a book, you are plenty smart enough to handle the business of being an author. So if you want to create and you can create, then do it. But understand you're going to have to do some stuff you don't like. And the difference between the 6 and 7 figure authors is the 7 figure authors really embrace the business side. And they love doing the business side. Oh, by the way, they create stories that people want to read too. But I've worked with all different kinds of authors at all different levels. I run a mastermind group where I just checked yesterday, we had 175 members, and these are people generally making about $500,000 or more a year.
Awesome. Wow, that's incredible. I love that you're sharing your knowledge and just having that sort of ability for everyone to talk and to really, you know, work through these sorts of strategies and things, which I would love to talk strategy. So, how do you think about things like new release schedules, pricing, building out a series? How important do you think those things are today?
What a glorious question. I went through this exactly a year ago. I didn't know I was ending one series. I published the 8th book in my thriller series, and it sold for absolute crap. Can we swear on this show? It sold for absolute crap, and I'm like, oh my god! I just spent 6 weeks writing this book, and I have 50 sales on a series that has done pretty well overall. I'm like, what the hell? So I have 17,000 people on my newsletter list, so I ran a survey. What do you guys want more of? Well, they wanted, by a margin of 4-1, they wanted more of my military sci-fi. So guess what I'm giving them? A 9-book series, military sci-fi. And guess what series is resonating really, really well with my readers? So when you have enough of a readership, you can ask them, what do you guys want to see from me? And so I filled that void. Otherwise, you have to guess, and it's the Venn diagram of what do you like to read, what do you like to write, and then what do people want, or what are people willing to buy? So you find that where it crosses, because you have to like to write it. It's not like, hey, lit RPG is selling, but I hate lit RPG, but I'm going to write it anyway because it's selling. That will come through in your writing, and guess what? You're not going to be able to sell a lit RPG that you force yourself to write that you hated. So you got to write something that you like to read. And the good thing about most authors, they're heavy readers. They read multiple genres. You can find something that works. And then write that, and then get into that niche of what people are buying. And that's why I always recommend K-Lytics with their data reports on various genres. And the most recent one, Cozy Fantasy, which it has its own category now on Amazon. Cozy Fantasy, Romantasy is a huge, huge genre that is underserved. Thank you, Rebecca Yaros, for opening that up. And it's underserved, so there's a lot of opportunity, and a lot of authors are rushing in there. And actually, I'm not writing it, but I'm publishing it for another author who wrote a 185,000 word urban fantasy with dragons in human form. And yes, it's a massive epic, but it should appeal to the romantasy crowd with an urban fantasy slant. And yeah, take advantage of those opportunities as they come up. Watch for them. K-Lytics is a great source, especially when Amazon adds a new category. You can guarantee that it's going to be underserved at least for the first year or two.
Yeah, that is absolute gold. You were saying you wrote a book in, what did you say, 60 days?
Yeah, that's the longest I've taken to write a book is 73 days, I think. And that was my dad passed away 2 years ago, and I wrote a book for him because he was big on living off the land and that kind of stuff. So I wrote a post-apocalyptic book in his honor because he was a little feisty too with listening to too much Rush Limbaugh on the radio, and wrote a post-apocalyptic book in his 139,000 words, and then the sequel was 150,000 words. And about halfway through the sequel, I started to lose interest. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, this is going on forever. I mean, it was interesting. Stuff's going on. It's a good book. But yeah, that one took 73 days. I had to really force myself to get through that one. But for dad, keep going. And those two published, they did great. They did better than I thought they would do. Because usually passion projects don't do well. And too many authors write their passion projects too early in their career, and they lose any momentum that they might have had.
That is so interesting. Yeah. So writing fast, or would you even call it rapid releasing, or it's just releasing the next book?
Well, the military sci-fi series that I'm writing now, I am publishing the first 7 books in 6 months, 1 book a month. But I had the first 5 books written when the first book published. So I'd been stockpiling, and of course my sales, my cash flow took a dive over the summer, when usually my sales are down a little bit, but I mean nosedive, because I didn't have anything new in front list, and I didn't have my ads dialed in yet. And then the fall hit, got my ads dialed in, got the new series rocking, got another book in an old series where we only publish a book a year, 1 book a year. So I can show you both ways that, hey, publishing fast, the books are out there, they're 65,000 words is all. And they write very quickly, military sci-fi, so I don't have to do a lot of research. And then another series, it's like 130,000 words each book, but only 1 book a year. And that series is doing the best out of all our series. So you don't have to publish fast, and that's you have to publish the absolute best book you can write. Now, that doesn't mean get paralyzed by perfection, thinking that, ooh, this is a 99% solution. I got to spend the next 6 months trying to get that 1%. You're not going to get it. So, and that's what I publish with my military sci-fi. It's 99%. Here you go. Good enough. It's still a damn good book and a good series, but it's still the 99% solution. I'm not going back through it and beating up wording and making sure that it's flowery and flowing, and it tells the story in a way that the readers want to read, in a way that they can consume, which 65,000 words is my target, because I ran a survey before, and they want a book they can read in 1 sitting. 60-some thousand words for the majority of my readers they can read in about 4 hours. Perfect. I once wrote a book in a series. This series had books anywhere from 51,000 words to 135,000 words, same series. And they didn't like the longer books because I couldn't read them in 1 sitting. I'm like, man, if you're willing to pay, I am more than happy to write a 65,000 word book instead of spending 130,000 words on a book.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Do you sell mainly ebooks or paperbacks or audiobooks?
I have multiple revenue streams. Ebooks are my primary source right now, and because of the way I've been advertising, I have a balance between ebook sales and Kindle Unlimited page reads. And then I also sell a lot of paperbacks because on those ads, I mix my ads. I make sure if I have an ebook ad that the paperback is included as part of that ad. So, because Amazon knows who to serve paperback ads to. Because most indies don't advertise their paperbacks, and I think you need to. You do a standard ad with no text, and just make sure you list all of the books in a series, both the ebook and the paperback and audiobook if you've got it. So I do sell a fair number of audiobooks, not like any of the big numbers, but I've got so many damn audiobooks that it really, I mean, I've spent a lot of money, and I probably only have, 10-15% of my audiobooks have earned out. So I'm still underwater when it comes to audiobooks, but I own all my audiobooks. I don't do any revenue share or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. And with the ebooks, do you do free first in series, or are they all just full price?
Oh, pricing. Yeah, you did ask that question. For my newest series, that 9-book military sci-fi series, I priced the first book at 99 cents through the whole pre-order period and kept it at 99 cents for the first 2 months of publication. And I'm like, I'm throwing money away because people are buying this book. And I priced it to $2.99. Sales did not change. So I cost myself, thousands of dollars by not pricing that first one at $2.99 at the outset and keeping it at $2.99. I priced it at just 99 cents because I really wanted to bring in the readers for the subsequent books, which I priced all at $5.99. And getting that book in there, $2.99 would have been a good first in series price. And so I do have my books down, that first book down $1, maybe $2 in some cases, because hey, let's give people a chance. They're still going to pay for it, so that gets them invested. I am not a fan of a perma-free. I know a lot of people are and have had very successful careers with that. Also, I do run one promotion a month where I put that first book for free, but I have 25 different series, so I can do a different series. I don't have to discount a series more than once a year. And so bring those readers into the whole universe of, if I can get them on the craigmartelle.com newsletter list, holy cow, I win. Because if they read anything of mine, I mean, a new reader's worth $250 to me if they start picking up any of my backlist.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you're in Kindle Unlimited, so it's easier to do that with the price discounts. And
almost exclusively on all my titles, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So how do you decide where to focus your energy? And like, now you're in Australia and you're not at home. I'd love to know how do you plan your days?
Well, this is when you're successful enough, you can do things that you have to do. My lungs are damaged, and the extreme cold seizes my lungs, and I've had problems in the past where I've been able to barely make it back into the house with the extreme cold. So after last winter, I told my wife, I was like, I cannot spend another winter here because it's going to kill me. Because I refuse to not take my dog for a walk, and we'd be out there, and if I fell over, that's all she wrote. I would die out there in the cold, and I just don't want to do that. So being successful as an author gave me the wherewithal to come down to Australia. My son he lives just a few blocks away down here. I'm on the beach. He's not. Okay, it sucks to be him, but I mean, he lives here full time. He can always go to the beach, whereas I can look out and see the beach and and enjoy that. But I'm also writing off the entire trip because I'm working every single day. Like I told you earlier, I got 3,600 words today on a book. I published a book, this one. This is a book that I wanted something for all of us, and I was coming down here. So my son's father-in-law, he lives just a few blocks from my son. He is a world-renowned surgeon. So I'm like, hey, you want to write a medical thriller? It's something I've never written before, but hey, it sounds like fun. We can get the medical expertise and we can make it thrillery. And I tell you what, this could be the best book I've ever written. And this was a book I wrote in 26 days. Jim is great. I would send him the book and he would get me feedback the next morning. I would have it, and there it is. Okay, he wants to change this wording and change the name here, add in this part. Great, moving on. And so, yeah, we knocked that book out. Here it is, a pre-publication copy because it comes out next week.
Awesome.
And A Surgeon's Dilemma. And I just crossed 30,000 words on A Surgeon's Peril, the second book in the series, which I hadn't planned on writing, but I am so far ahead because of being down here and getting a lot more words than I usually get because I'm not out doing anything weird. I'm eating too much. That's the one big thing I'm doing. I'm getting my steps. I had 9,000 steps yesterday, which is a great day for me. 10,000, I'm about a cripple the next day. So I get what I need to burn the calories, even though I don't burn all of the calories because of crap like this that I keep right next to my computer that I don't need to have right next to my computer. And they're just so easy to grab right there. It's ridiculous because the Kohl's is like 5 minutes away. It is such a great life down here. I mean, I could see moving here. We've got designs on moving to Madrid, which is comparable, that you're in a city, it's just you grab public transportation. That benefits. Yes, that's why I'm down here. I'm going to go from here. My 90-day visa runs out in February, so on February 12th I go to New Zealand because it's still the middle of winter. Winter is 6 months long in Alaska. And then spend a month and a half there before going home on April 1st.
Yes, absolutely. So I don't feel like burnout is in your vocabulary as an author.
No.
It seems like you're good.
Now, I enjoy storytelling, and this is one thing I tell all authors is make sure you love storytelling. Make sure you love writing the books. Now, you don't love the pressure of writing books if you have that full burden of having to make money from them, because not every book is going to resonate. You might publish a book, you publish 4 books a year. If you have a book that doesn't work, now you're talking 4 months of no pay, and a lot of people, that's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. So I don't have that because I have enough books at my backlist. If I have one that bombs, and I do on occasion, one doesn't resonate, that's okay. That's okay. I can move forward. But I tell authors, I would love to remind myself what I tell authors. But you asked a question, and now I'm lost because I meandered so much on that answer.
Burnout.
Yeah. If you love writing, then for me, an escape is writing. Like I found out one of my co-authors passed away today, and another one of my co-authors passed away last week. That now makes 6. 6 of my co-authors have passed away. And I mean, I've only been in the business 10 years. I know I'm a little older, and I resonate with my co-authors are generally older. But damn, I lost 2 in 1 week. And what do? I disappear into a world of my own making and live there for a while. So I am usually extremely productive during those times because I come from the generation of bury that shit and take it to your grave. So I'm not going to wallow in pity or self-remorse or anything like that. Not publicly, definitely not publicly. And get the words, write the book. The greatest testament to another author is write a book. Write a book and have it resonate with the readers in a way that they like. It's like, hey, you helped teach me this. All my co-authors taught me stuff.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I love it. You have just inspired so much. For me, I've been following you for a long time. One of these days I am going to make it to your Adelaide conference, or maybe I can talk you into coming to Sunshine Coast Fiction Festival. We'll talk about that off here. And I just love your generosity. It's such a privilege to be able to talk to you today and to get these pearls of wisdom that you're offering for us.
My pleasure. There's only 2 things you need to do in this business. Write a great book, put it in the right reader's hands. There you go.
That's
2
it.
things. Do these 2 things and you will be a successful author.
Are you going to be writing a book about advertising for all this anytime soon?
I am not. I'm not going to do ads because other people do ads so much better and they study it. I only use the systems that they've pioneered and they continue to study because, once again, the mastermind group that I run, we have people who make so much damn money. It's almost obscene because of their success with ads. And they're very kind to me in sharing their knowledge and helping me. One of the guys, I think he's up to 3 million this year, is what he made. He sat side saddle with me for an hour and helped walk me through a number of different iterations of my ads to get me back on track. And that's what it took to get me on track.
Yeah, brilliant. Can you share your mastermind with us if anyone is wanting to join that?
Are you making $500,000 or more a year?
When we're making $500,000 or more, yeah, we'll join that. Are there any other groups?
That's what it takes. It's a select group. I call it the Davos of Indies. And what I learned there, I do bring out and I share the successful indie author. You'll find on my at Successful Indie Author YouTube channel, you'll find all of the different videos that I've done, Facebook ads, Amazon ads, uploading your first book to Amazon, and so many other things that hopefully help people. I put up a number of presentations that I've given, to include one I've given to the masterminds, and that was, it wasn't on burnout, it was on a balance, like a work-life balance. Because if anybody needs it, people who are making seven figures, they lean forward so far that they're very close to crashing. And sometimes they need that sanity check of what are you really doing. And I love Pareto. Pareto is a genius. 80% of your effort yields 20% of your revenue. So find that 20% that gives you the 80%, and then focus on that and start shedding that 80% of your time that is not giving you the revenue or the improvements that you're looking for. And I think that's important for everybody to review, especially newer authors, because newer authors flail. You've seen it, flail like nobody's business, because they're writing their first book and then they're thinking, oh, I saw Craig said you have to have a newsletter, so I'm starting a newsletter, and oh, I have to have a reader magnet, and I have to stop it. The only thing you have to do is write your book. Once you have your book, then you can do these other business things. 20% business, 80% writing your book, and then 80% writing that next book. So don't get so overwhelmed that all of a sudden you stop writing and you don't even have the first book completed and you're quagmired and all this other stuff. So remember all those cartoons when you were growing up about quicksand? The quicksand is of your own making.
This is true. This is absolutely 100% true. Craig, what is your website where we can go and sign up to your newsletter and check out all of your books?
Well, that's craigmartelle.com, CraigMartelle.com. Very simple. You can find that the newsletter. I rotate my newsletter sign up freebies, but once you sign up, there's a 5 email onboarding process, and you get stuff. I give away an audiobook. I give away short stories on every one of those, and then I introduce you to here's my stuff. So
that's awesome. I'm going to go and study your welcome sequence now. That sounds brilliant.
My advice: keep writing. Always write, no matter what. Write. The best way to become a better storyteller, a better writer, is by writing. And you get feedback every now and then, and all of a sudden, hey, you're writing books that people really want to read, and that's what makes a career.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Craig. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
I always find it so grounding to talk with people like Craig, writers who have really lived the indie publishing life and still show up with generosity, clarity, and a genuine passion for helping others succeed. What stood out to me most in this conversation was how much of this journey really comes down to mindset. Yes, there's strategy, and yes, there's hard work, but Craig reminded me that believing in yourself, staying consistent, and building community are just as powerful as any algorithm or ad campaign. And honestly, it's refreshing to hear someone who doesn't sugarcoat the challenges, but also doesn't make them feel insurmountable. He's proof that it's possible to build a sustainable, fulfilling career as an author without burning out or losing the joy that brought you to storytelling in the first place. So here's something I want to leave you with today. What does success as a writer really mean to you right now? And are you giving yourself permission to go after it in your own way? Thanks again for being here, and as always, I'm so grateful to share this space with you. I'll see you next time on The Right Podcast. Thanks so much for listening to The Right Podcast with Sarah Williams. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world if you'd leave a review and share the show with your writer friends. It helps more creatives find their way to us. And don't forget to follow Serenade Publishing on Instagram and TikTok for more writing tips, publishing advice, and exciting events to keep you inspired. Keep writing, keep dreaming, and know that I'm here to support you every word of the way.